Now to the alarming news that our children are being introduced to Scientology-funded programs in our schools and kindergartens without even knowing it. Most recently, 2 human rights groups funded by Scientology sent out information packs and videos without declaring their relationship. One school even allowed a seminar to be held, not realising who was really talking to the students. Here's Brian Seymour.
Is this the new school curriculum? Maths, science and Scientology. Kindergartens across the country recently received this pack in the mail. Catherine Waters, director of Melbourne's JJ McMahon Kindergarten, was stunned by its contents.
So I started reading carefully through the accompanying literature, and it wasn't really until I got to the last page that I recognised there was a connection with the Scientology organisation.
The kit included a warning to parents and a form for them to sign. The form is an exemption against health checks that are carried out on young children at school. The information pack claims the health checks could lead to their children being prescribed mind-altering drugs.
And there are about 1,000 claims that come out every year where they think they've found the cause of depression or ADD or bipolar disorder. None of it is true.
The group behind this information pack is the CCHR, or Citizens Commission on Human Rights. Principal Waters doesn't understand why they want Aussie children exempted from health checks in schools.
It's not something that I would suggest they exempted their child from, because if your child has difficulties, it's really important for their sake that it's identified as soon as possible.
The government introduced the Healthy Kids Check in 2008. It's funded by Medicare. The Federal Mental Health Minister has slammed the Scientology pack as factually wrong and misleading.
And now, psychiatric researchers are trying ultrasound to supposedly diagnose bipolar disorder in babies still in their mother's womb.
It gets worse. At Woodridge State High School, south of Brisbane, parents were stunned to learn 60 children attended a seminar run by a Scientology-funded group known as Youth for Human Rights.
It's false representation, isn't it?
I do not want any of my family involved in it, whether my kids, my grandkids or my brothers and sisters. I don't want them involved.
The group did not declare to the school that they are a Scientology-funded group.
There was no disclosure about the background of the group concerned or about who was funding them. Now that information is available, the school obviously has taken steps to ensure that further contact with students isn't going to be an option.
I found this Scientology video online that inadvertently reveals where the Youth for Human Rights material really comes from.
Free-thinking individuals who refuse to be silent.
Now, the video you just saw was the product of the Church of Scientology.
Queensland Teachers Federation President Kevin Bates is calling for regulations for schools to better check who they're letting inside the school gates.
It would be our view that there would be a place for some central regulation of these sorts of programs that are being introduced into schools.
This is mean and sneaky and tricky and, above all, dangerous misinformation.
Senator Nick Xenophon has for years exposed the abuses inside Scientology.
These jokers go on about human rights when I've seen so many people who've been in the so-called Church of Scientology who've had their human rights abused, who've had their lives ruined, who have been ruined both emotionally and financially, and for them to be talking about people's human rights is really a very cruel hoax.
One of the most extraordinary tales told by Scientology is that its founder, L Ron Hubbard, is a great humanitarian, equal in standing and achievement to Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela and others.
It just shows you how deluded these people are to be mentioning L Ron Hubbard in the same breath as Gandhi and Martin Luther King. It really is a sick joke.
And the psychiatrists set up the whole euthanasia campaign in the concentration camps. They went into the concentration camps and they set it up and they decided who was going to be killed.
I find Scientology's hijacking of the Holocaust sickening.
The Citizens Commission on Human Rights, the ones trying to stop children getting valuable health checks. They claim the Holocaust was organised and carried out by psychiatrists, and that there is no such thing as a mental illness. The group was founded and is funded solely by Scientology.
I've just been incredibly disappointed by the lack of openness. I don't feel that they had our best interests at their heart.
And by the way, the Church of Scientology refused our request for an interview. In its written response, which is on our website, they say that the Youth for Human Rights and CCHR run benign community programs and that their link to Scientology can be discovered by searching the internet.